Guys, if you like listening to the Sly Guy podcast, but you think one episode a week is just not enough to keep you satiated on all the yummies that I have to give to you, you can get more. You can go back to the buffet with your wee tray. You can go back up. You can go, you know what, can I have a slice of pizza? Can I have some carbonara? Give me some noodles and some pho as well. Buck it all on the plate and get it into you. And that's what you can get at patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. You get the guest episode every Friday. Sometimes you get the psychic and the stand-up. On a Monday you get the extra Sly Guy podcast. On Wednesday you get early access to this. On top of that you get access to stand-up specials by me, early access to shows and ticket links, and last but not least you get the odd vlog as well. So if you want to just get more of that, head on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. I mean, next week we'll maybe read some of the kind messages I've got from patrons saying they enjoy being a patron. And you can be in that wee club as well. You can enjoy it too by heading to www.patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. The Sly Guy podcast is always brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Modest Beer are a beer who are modest not only about their product but about themselves. They remain secretly hidden amongst us in plain sight like the Illuminati, the brewers of Modest Beer. But what they do is make delicious beers. You want to know more about their beer, head to their website www.modestbeer.co.uk, where you can see the wide range of beers that they have, where you can scoop those babies up as well, and also you can get access to their merch via their website too. But if you want to just, keep it modern, keep it Gen Z, you can follow them on social media, and their handles are at Modest Beer.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, people who do not conform to any labels, and welcome once again to the Sly Guy podcast. I am your host, as always, Dave Elliott, and this week is not a solo episode of the podcast. No. We're keeping the guest train rolling, and who better as a guest on a podcast than this guy? You know him, you love him. It's Micky Bartlett. What a fun episode this was. I mean, anytime we get together, we have a good old hoot. We're like Waldorf and Statler, just two old men having a nice time. And that's what you got again today. We speak about everything. Life, comedy, comedians, boxing, having short arms. You name it, it's in this week's episode. So guys, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the podcast. Pour yourself a tea, get a coffee. Maybe, fuck it, pour yourselves a glass of Baileys. Because people seem to just put the Baileys in the cupboard. People just put Baileys in the corner when Christmas is over. No one puts Baileys in the corner. Bring the Baileys out. Bring your Five Farms Irish Cream whiskey liqueur out as well, because it's bloody delicious, and I'd like to be sponsored by either them or Baileys. But what I'm saying is drink cream whiskey with ice, or coffee, or tea, or water, or Ribena. Just keep hydrated is what I'm saying. It's important in 2023. Keep hydrated. Enjoy this week's episode with this guy. I'm Micky Bartlett.
It's going to be good, crap. I think me and McCartney's fight might be the best one, because it's the only fight nobody's trying to win.
Yeah.
It might be the only one that looks like boxing.
But you know what? You guys also, I think a lot of them are losing the fact that it's a bit of crack too. Do you mean people are taking it too seriously, and you're a bit like, come on lads.
It's for charity, like.
Yeah. Like now, if I was fully doing it, I would scoop the foam out of the gloves and all. I fucking tape my hands up, put cement on it and all. I do the works, but it seems like some people, like I don't know, January's always quiet.
Aye.
But a lot of people seem to just not be doing gigs. Just everyone's in training camp.
But Rachel McPeak was saying that like Claire Corrigan hasn't spoke to her since it got fucking announced.
Yeah.
And then like,
wow.
Sean McAlevey said Darren Matthews, they're talking about gigs, but they haven't. He's like asking boxing questions, and Darren's just ghosting him.
Yeah, I like that from Darren. Because now, if I were to do it, or if I was doing it, I would go offline.
Aye.
Entirely.
I said to McCartney, and I was like, listen, we're both training because we're trying to just be fit enough to last the fucking 3 rounds. I was like, we're not going to hit each other hard, but we'll throw a few convincing ones just to fucking make it look exciting.
Now, what I would be interested in was be doing a book. I'd love to take bet, like do odds and all, and I could earn a fortune.
I can tell you right now, I'll be going down halfway through the second round. If that's what you do.
Like, I would be all for that. That's the only way to earn money out of it, isn't it? Getting all like charity bastards.
It took me 10 years to sell out the Ulster Hall, and then whenever you go, I'm getting punched in the face for free, all of a sudden it sells out in 5 minutes.
I know.
It's a fucking disgrace.
Ulster Hall. Oh, well, that is some
Isn't it
shit.
good?
Yeah. Well, for anyone that's listening to audio or watching that doesn't know what's going on, there's just some sort of
Oh, look,
caramel
that's you,
syrup.
look.
Yeah. And
When was that from?
that was years ago. We did a Christmas show called Jingle Balls.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And what's the sad thing is, Woodsy is like just the same.
Woody is the same.
I'm not good. McCann. I don't think a man is aged quicker than McCann.
Aye.
Like, he's gone from being the young boy to 42 potentially.
He's
His travels have been harsh on him.
yeah. The pints have taken effect. I mean, Kieran looks like Don French there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I ever thought that
can see
haircut
that.
was a good idea, but I don't know.
He's adorable.
But he looks much better with shaved head and a beard, doesn't he?
I don't know, but I'd buck him quicker there than I would now.
Yeah, to be fair, he
Do you
does look
mean-
like a cute girl. He looks
Now
like...
he looks like, you know, Michael Jackson from The Simpsons, but he's in the mental home.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. But see there, he
but
looks
that
like...
Kieran there, that's very Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah, I was going to say, he looks like he owns some kind of, like, ethically sourced bakery,
Yeah.
you know? He's like, hey, man, I do love the buns, but also...
He looks like he was at the meeting for What About Pronouns?
Yeah. I know. Do you feel like we're over that now? Do you think we're past it?
I think a lot of people, yeah, I think it's maybe, it's one of those things where initially you go, I can get behind that, and there was too many, like everything, there was too many roots
Yeah.
that were
As
just
in,
doing
like,
it because
routes or too many?
yeah,
There's
too many ball bags.
Yeah.
That's the wrong thing to say. Too many scrotes. No, hold on. Too many cunts. No, wait. Too many wee fannies. No, wait, hold on. Too many dicks. Oh, fuck. Too many arseholes.
Everyone has an arsehole.
Everyone has an
There
arsehole.
you go, new sitcom.
That used to be my granny's like saying if you were getting like fucking a hard time in school.
I wonder where it's going to go. I just see you saying
if somebody thought they were better than you, should go, son, don't you worry about it. He shits at the same hole you do.
And you were like, how's he fucking do it? How? What the fuck? You talking
I
about?
know, girl, that's what I'm complaining about. Every day, McLeod your hole.
Grannies are always full of wisdom, aren't they?
Oh,
But
man,
then at the
full
same
of shit.
time, oh my god, my granny, and this is the thing, like I've had my sister, let's just say, is more travelled
Uh-huh.
than I am. You know, she lives over in London, cosmopolitan, works with a lot of sort of different people and blah blah. And I've had to say to her, it's like, you know that your life and upbringing's different to our dad's. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't, the same way as you don't want him to maybe say certain things or use certain phrases that you believe are dated, he can't keep up with the shit that you're
Aye.
saying. He'll say something and you'll be like, well, he was being a wee freak. And he's like, but she's like, that I don't like that term. He's like, but he's but he is being a freak. And you're like, but that, there's other words. He goes, but how else are you describing, what else are you?
Aye.
And I'd be like, you know, and then he'd
I
use the other F word and be like, that's worse.
Aye.
Dad,
I remember
like,
having a full conversation with my dad about the N word, right?
Uh-huh.
And
hold on, ready for a punchline in any comedy club in Belfast? What, Newry?
Newton Orange. But he was
Oh no.
he was doing this whole thing about like you should be allowed to, you know, if we're having say if me and him were chatting in a bar, he's like, we should be allowed to say whatever we want, and if anybody's listening to the conversation gets annoyed, we should be able to go, well, you shouldn't have been listening, right?
Yeah.
He's like, if we're in a bar, right, and we fucking like, and he said it in the bar, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing? He's like, it's just a word, and then I remember being like, well, you don't like the word cunt. And he went, no, don't say it. And I was like, well, why is it just a word?
Yeah.
And then he went, it's not the same. And I went, I just started going, cunt. And then he tried to hit me.
Yeah.
And then at one point as well, he was like, so the N-word's just in it. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking, it's no big deal. And I went, you used to work on a building site and people called you Paddy.
Yeah.
And he went, aye, but my name's Paddy. And I went, aye, but they didn't know that. Like they were just, do you know what I mean? Surely you have some sort of empathy from being a wee fucking West Belfast Tig.
And then it's all like fucking, you know, the beautiful mind. And in there, he's like, fuck, where the Alex? Oh, the mind blown. But I think it needs to be a two-way street. I believe that now. I believe like younger people need to be less raging at people who don't know better.
Aye.
Like if you should know better and you do, that's a problem. But see if you just don't.
It's also a thing, I think, like, do you know when people go, like, I'm strictly non-binary?
Uh-huh.
You go, well, that's a very binary term.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Non-binary is going, I literally don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but I'm strictly.
So the only non-binary people are straight white men. We're the only ones with enough privilege to not give a fuck about it.
Yeah, I never thought about it. Like, this is deep already.
It's fucking,
what the fuck's in this?
Confusing as shit, man.
Yeah.
But I think it's, I don't know, I always just look at it on, like, I just go, what's your name?
Yeah.
I'll just call you that.
Yeah.
Like,
but I do think like that's the one thing that I just can't keep on top of.
aye. But again, like, it probably has started with fucking a good heart behind it, and then ball bags who just want to be trendy.
Yeah.
that take it too far with get rid of all sorts of like sense of context or any of that sort of shit, and then you go, well, now you've ruined it for everybody else.
Yeah, like now, friend of the show, Demi Lovato. She's now she again.
Was she?
She was they. And now she's decided
Didn't know
she's
that.
she again. But that's what I don't get. How now again people will be like, but it's not your place to get it. I'm like, I know. I just want to be able to. If I see someone, give them the right. Slagging.
Well, it's like Eddie Izzard's a she no.
Yeah.
But no surgery. But Eddie Izzard was always a he.
Yeah.
Who just dressed as a woman.
Yeah.
I think I remember Eddie Izzard being married to a woman at one point as well.
But
I don't think he's gay or anything, is he? Like
she's
gay. Sorry.
No, I think she's gay now. Because I think
she's a gay woman.
I think she's a gay woman, but a heterosexual man. I think she went out with women when she was a he.
But now she's a she, and she still goes out with she's.
Still goes out with she's, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's a good way to get around it, isn't it?
Because now what Casey blew my mind with, see, at the comedian's Christmas dinner, we'll talk about that later because it was a lot of fun. But he blew my mind because he just goes to me, Dave, we're bisexual. Now at the beginning, I didn't know what he was hanging for.
Aye.
You know, he's like, Dave, no,
pull mistletoe.
He goes, we're bisexual. And I was like, all right, okay. And he goes, Colin is bisexual, and I was like, am I? Like, and then someone's hitting you stuff, and he goes, no, here's what you do. You say you're bisexual. And I went, why? And he goes, because you're married. And you're going to be married until you die anyway. So if you say you're bisexual, no one's going to question it because you're married. So you don't want to cheat in your wife. So if my wife dies or we divorce, I could be bisexual, you don't know. But for the meantime, I'm not, but I am. And then he was like, and then that can help you, like, get quotas and all that. I think it's okay. So if I just go into things and be like, I'm the bisexual guy, it works, you can do it.
I did hear a story about, like, because it's a weird thing whenever, like, when TV did it and started ticking boxes.
Yeah.
That's another thing I think's ruined the genuine argument behind people not having pronouns and shit like that.
Yeah.
But there is a comedian, I've heard this, I don't know how true it is, who is bisexual.
Yeah.
And then just started saying, oh, I'm pansexual, because they already had a bisexual one in terms of comedy, comedians.
Oh, so you mean like the production company or something?
Basically, this dude just went, I'm going to say pansexual now, because if you're...
What the fuck? I don't know pansexual.
Pansexual's like...
Into like fairies and stuff, I would think. Like we Tinkerbells. Oh, I'm pansexual. Get your hook up my hole.
I also know something to do with loaves.
Yeah.
Loaves. Is pansexuals like... Is that the emotions one? Where it doesn't matter if they're male or female or trans or whatever, you can fall in love with somebody based on who they are as a person.
But that's not sexual then, is it?
Aye, I know.
It's weird. It's
I think that's what pansexual is.
Because like I know
pansexual is bisexual with no standards.
Yeah. There you go, describe.
Yeah.
But I have a friend, right, who
a pansexual is a bisexual will literally bog out.
Yeah, just a bisexual slag.
Yeah, just a slow. Absolute slow.
But I have a pal, right, and he would say he's heterosexual, but has been going out with a fella for like 10 years. But he'd be like, no, but if I'm just he's just my guy, but beforehand I wasn't.
Aye.
And then because again, I remember work made me go to this thing. I mean, I don't know whether they just
made you go because you're a bull boy, or made you go?
I don't know. I think
it was just company policy.
But I think it was company policy. But it was I knew a lot, but not enough. That makes sense. Like I knew a lot of the different. Like they were like, write as many terms down for, offensive terms as possible.
Class.
They knew bad, please. And I had a lot of fun.
My pen ran out.
But the guy taking them was like, I actually haven't heard of a few of these. I was like, nah, comedian made them up. They're new ones. And he was like, well, okay. So I remember going through the whole thing and like you had to tick what you were. So like, I just wrote privileged. No, they're like tick like heterosexual, but whatever. And then there's one, and again, this is one I think I reverted to being like an 8-year-old again. My wee head couldn't comprehend it. One of the boxes said, man who has sex with men.
Right.
I was like, and he goes, yes. I was like, is that not gay? And he was like, no, it's man with sex with. And I was like going, but surely at its core,
that's just that's a gay dude, like.
But he was like, but you could be a man who has sex with men but doesn't want to be called gay. And then I was like, well, then
stop bombing dudes. You fucking turd burglar.
And then he goes to me, but how he goes, well, what happens if you want to have sex with men? And then I was like, again, but I don't. And he goes, no, but for the sake of the story, you do. You're married and you want to have sex with men on the side. And I said, but I don't. And he was, and if my wife hears me debating this, she'll think I want to have sex with men outside of marriage. So I'm not having this conversation, putting this neither. But he was like, no, but you could be, a married man going around having sex with men but you're still heterosexual and married. I was like, I'll just take, just take.
Aye. So does that mean a man is that a closeted gay man?
I think
is
so.
That they're just like,
yeah. It sounds like some sort of great comic.
It's just so much admin. I'm just let book whoever you want to book as long as they're above the age of consent.
I agree. See, if they're above the age of consent and they offer
supplied consent, yeah.
Yes, I'm all for it. Like, I don't sucking, fucking, bucking, licking, poking, stroking. Yeah. You do the works, you go for it. As long
humping,
as
bumping,
happy, humping and bumping,
riding and sliding,
trumping and scumping. I like just the works. You can do it. Like, and also don't judge people sexually, because I believe that I'm probably now quite reserved, I would say. Like, as a married man with young kids, it's just a wee quick moment whenever you get an opportunity all the time. Whereas, like, I had an old tenant of mine whenever I was working a previous job, and she was probably, I'm talking 70s, her husband would have been 80s, but again, he was kind of like, he could have been a state 50s, but he seemed to be 80s, right? And he was like, he couldn't move really too good. So they had like a wheelchair and fucking stair access and all for him in the works, and he died, and that was very sad. But she wanted then to move from a wee house with a stair lift and all into bungalow. She booked off the bungalow, all good. And now we would have a thing where we clear out people's houses and stuff. If they leave anything, we'll dump it. Her attic, full of dildos.
Seriously?
Sex swing and all. So obviously he couldn't do, but she was fucking hoisting them up in the swing and just, I don't know how that works.
There you go, Cecil. You ready?
Because surely, if you're a woman, you go in the swing and the guy does the work. So I don't know whether she just put him up like conkers, got him a route, and just
maybe you both go in the swing.
I don't know. Just whatever worked. Dong.
Maybe she would put him in the swing, push him, and then spin.
Then run. But then she had like and I mean like a fucking collection of those. Aye. She had a lot of them. So I don't know whether she was working away or giving them to him because his arms are good. So he could have been up there like fuck Alex Higgins. Just
I'm not going to say who told me this, just because it could quite easily implicate the person, right?
But you'll tell me off air.
Tell you off air. But I once heard somebody say the words, and then she brought out a bag of butt plugs.
Oh wow, a bag?
A bag full of butt plugs. It's a lot of butt. I thought one butt plug's plenty.
I mean, it is one of those things. You have one. It does a job. It's like, if you have a sore head.
Does the butt stretch over time? You go, I'm going to get a bigger butt plug here. Like,
does it not return, or do you not just get a bit more adventurous?
Because butt stuff is now. If someone's like, here, do stuff to my butt, I'm like, whatever you need, my lady.
Yeah.
But if somebody was to go, can I do stuff to your butt?
Yeah.
I would go, listen, doctor, I know I've got prostate cancer. I've checked all the symptoms, but I'm just used to away from that.
But I mean, I would say I'm relatively agnostic in my beliefs about God and whatnot. I don't know whether there is or something. Sometimes I think there is a God. Sometimes I don't know. There's been occasions me and go whatever, but I do believe there's a higher power that has put defense mechanisms in and around my arsehole to stop people going near it. Too much memory on the memory card there, and we were talking about my bum being in a licking free zone. So what I'm saying, in long story short, is God made it that you shouldn't lick my arsehole. Other people lick away. Lick and suck, stroke, poke, do what you want, but just leave. Mine's not.
Yeah, mine's not.
Not that I wouldn't like it, but
mine's just past the use by date, I think. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of those things, like, do you ever look at oysters and go,
that's not for me.
But who decided to eat those in the first place? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah.
Do you ever look at things and go, who decided? Like, who watched something drop out of a chicken's hole and went, I'm going to crack it up and burn it and then eat it?
Yeah. Who looked at a pig and went, I'm going to cut that up and then stuff it inside its own skin?
Yeah.
And fire it in a soda.
Yeah.
And whoever that person was, thank you.
Genius. Yeah. But another thing to think about, actually, is, when they would have done that, the guy would have had to done that and kill the pig, and then the people watching would have been going like, oh no. And then he had to cook it, and then he gone, oh, it's actually quite nice. And they're like, no, it's not. And then he goes, no, I fucking swear it is. It's fucking gear.
Like black pudding as well.
Yeah. Why do you think black pudding happened? He just was making bacon, but it bled too much. And he's like, fuck, I need to cook it anyway.
I don't really know.
Bit of spice. Like, that's what happened.
Black pudding's great. Like.
Do you like white pudding too?
I do like white pudding, yeah.
What's better? Just to keep it the same.
Man, all puddings matter.
Yeah, all puddings matter. Like here, I've asked this question. This is the level of journalistic and integrity I have. Right, I have Michael Fry on the podcast.
Right,
and I said to him, Michael, what's your favourite type of fry? And you tell me about your dream fry and all. And he was like, oh well, and then told me, like you go in, like you're dying of the hangover. You need, like this is a hangover I was after I got married. I couldn't eat a breakfast the next day.
Aye.
In where we got married, and the breakfast was great. I had to leave it in the plate.
Aye.
So what's your dream? Tell me a dream fry.
My dream fry is 2 sausages, 2 potato bread, 1 soda, 2 bacon.
You need 2 sausages.
Fried egg. Wee bit of black pudding. I'll take a white pudding too. Beans in a ramekin on the side because I'm not sure if I want them.
Yes.
10 of coconut cup tea.
tin of Coke and a cup of tea. Coke's
For
good
a
shit,
hangover
actually,
one,
for a
like?
hangover, yeah. No, like that. Would you fuck with mushrooms?
Nah, not when I'm hungover.
And have you ever seen that guy who did a bit of stand up about fried tomato? He's a Scottish guy. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Sounds familiar.
And he was like, I don't like fried tomato. And then they like gave it to him, and he was like, but I didn't want fried tomato, but I had it. And he was like, actually, it's quite nice. It's fucking really funny. But that's
Who was that again?
And he's like a skinny guy with glasses. Looked a bit Tom Greenish, which is an Irish.
It's not Chris
comedy.
MacArthur Boyd, no.
No, he looks like a little puppet.
How the
An
fuck was
OC
that?
Andy. But
It does sound familiar. I can't remember, but yeah.
But it's a good bit. But I don't know. See, at the minute, like I'm doing dry January and fucking fitness guy. No, not through any other reason other than the fact that I'm a fat bastard and want to try and sort my life out.
Right.
You know, these people like, I'm just better than you. Don't need a drink. Nah, I love a drink, especially now that and like you know me, I'm not that big a drinker, but when I need to drink, I'll drink. I'll
Yeah.
turn it up, and I'm already halfway through the month, and now I'm like, I need a sub. Like fucking.
I've been doing dry January, and to be honest, I did a very, very wet December. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I could do with a wee break.
Yeah. I mean, would you ever take any like Liberal tablets or anything?
Oh yeah, like a real milk thistle and all sorts of stuff.
Like get better. Like what? Here's one that I weigh up. Whenever you're, is it better to take like say you're going on a big stag do or something,
Aye.
like a 2-day bender. from day to night and night to day. Is it better to go into it having had a bit of a drink beforehand, or is it better to like take a month, clean the liver out, come back with a fresh liver? What do you think works best?
I think training works better.
Yeah.
Because I think if you go into something like that and you haven't drank in ages, you're going to hit it way too hard.
Yeah.
And be home, be the first casualty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a fair one.
Because
I retired from stag do's.
Aye.
But I'm coming out of retirement in March for one. Now, it's with older fellas, and it's for one night.
Aye.
But I feel like it's an early morning, overnight. I feel like I need to bring it.
Yeah.
You know.
I think a wee bit of training's good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you kind of, I mean, having said that, I trained like fuck really for December, and then got to the comedians' Christmas do.
Yeah.
And somebody could have spiked a drink that I drank because my body worked and my head was not.
Can I ask you? I don't know if you disappeared, and then I went home, and I don't know if we crossed paths again.
Man, so this is what I remember from it, right? Obviously, we did a few pints and laveries.
Yes.
Then we did
Weatherspoons.
A little bit of bubbly. There was a shot.
That's right.
There was a pint. Right.
We mixed a lot of drinks.
Mixed a lot of drinks.
Fucking hell.
And I remember going to Pugs and we had cocktails.
Yes.
Then I got chatting to someone in the smoking area and went on a side quest back to Weatherspoons.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Then I was like, I'm fucking steaming. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do the Bartlett Shuffle.
Yeah.
I remember going to the Boojum and going, are you still open? And the guy in Boojum went, mate, it's 6:15.
Yeah.
So I had a Boojum.
It's prime time, if anything.
I had a Boojum, and then I was like, fuck, I'm not too bad now. Tried to retrace my steps to find usings. Found using in Lavery's. Got to Lavery's.
Yeah.
The music's going, everyone's fucking eating chips off the table. My top came off.
Yes. No.
Then I remember talking to Tim McGarry and poisoning him, being like, Tim, remember the time in the first episode of Give Me Head Pigs back in 2001? You said this. I was doing like 20-year-old jokes to him that I remember from being a kid. Then I remember getting my arse out, and then I woke up in the dream apartment.
Yeah.
From backtracking my steps, someone told me and Keezy left at about 9:30 to check into the apartments.
Yeah.
Right. There's photos of me and Keezy out in the cathedral quarter 12.
Yeah.
We both woke up in the apartment. We got in. We had our stuff. Neither one of us remembers getting our stuff or getting a key. And when we left, they told us we hadn't paid for the room. So we were like, how the fuck did we get in here?
Yeah. Because what freaked me out, and I don't know how he did it, was Keezy was in work 9:30 the next day.
Aye.
How did he get from where he was to there? What?
Well, it was 12. That was
Witchcraft?
midday to be in.
Right, okay, midday. Jesus Christ, I thought he was there for like a 9 a.m.
Nah,
start.
me and him, like we...
Fuck me.
'cause he drove me back to Lurgan. And I don't think we talked the whole way home. I had no idea James McKegney broke his legs.
Yeah. And
it happened beside me.
Because from my story, Tim was there. Now, what was great about that, it was good to see Tim come for a pint. A lot of love for Tim.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Tim knew what he was walking into.
But Tim came in fresh for 1 or 2 pints of chat. And you and
we were demented.
definitely chatting to him, but trying to, like, you know, as you do, trying to remain civil, but just talking probably utter shite. So then he was like, who's to blame for a state of use? And then he went, right? And I went, right, Tim, I'll walk you to the door. And as I walked in the door, went for a snog, wasn't for it. And then I came back, and then, you know, the curtain at Lavery's where if you're going to go on stage, on that big pillar, and you can sort of look around. I looked around the pillar, and I saw you boys all on the stage, your shirts off, dancing, and I must have literally left in the time scale of about within the same time as McKegney came off and broke his legs.
Aye.
I must have just gone, I've seen enough, and I snuck out, you know, and that's kind of must have been
Aye.
the direct correlation of where that was. But it was wild. And then I got home and had some dinner. I remember watching Match of the Day or something, and I had done such an old man thing. I'd left so many things out. Like sober maid tried to help drunk me, so I left like fucking Baracas out and all. I left and went to bed and all, like bottles of water beside the bed and stuff under my pillow and all, hidden like an inhaler. Like what the fuck was I expecting? But I needed everything. But a bit of it. I was not good. See, the next day, I wasn't a good father. Dave
Elliott. Now I don't have any children, right? And I think I was such a mess the next day. I was a bad father to my kids in the future.
Yeah.
I see if I talked you through what I ate the following day, you wouldn't believe me, right? But I'll do it. So, 3 mini jam buns and sausage soda, right, from breakfast.
Now hold on, did you venture out to get these? Was this on the way home? Right,
so there's a deli near the wee spar near where I live, one of the spar garage mate, right? So I had 3 sausages in the soda, by the way, right? 2 bottles of Lucozade.
So you mini jam buns?
3 mini jam buns.
3 mini jam buns, by the way. Whoever made those needs
genius.
respect. They're the nicest.
So 3 mini jam buns, sausage soda.
And how many? 2 sausages in the soda?
3 sausages in the soda.
Okay.
Right, 2 bottles of Lucozade. Then I had Mr. Frosty Ice Lolly. Then I had a tin of Coke. Then my girlfriend landed in my flat. She brought me a double quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's. Large meat. Ate that. 2 chicken selects. A large Fanta. Her large Fanta. Then I had Polly Pineapple. Another tin of Coke. Packet of Roysters. Then I ordered a Domino's. Had a pizza. I think I just got a pizza. Didn't get white sides or anything. Had a pizza. Bottle of Club Rock Shandy. Another tin of Coke. Another Mr. Frosty. And there was like wee chocolate buns involved at some point as well.
Wow. That's
and
a lot
I'd been going to a PT. I told my PT about it the next day, and he was like that. I just couldn't speak.
But did that come all out with a...
Oh, it was awful.
A mighty sore
shite.
Yeah. Because sometimes if I overeat or I'm eating shit, like that, I'll know that I'll bring a big turd out that day. So I'll be like, I'm not really taking that much of it on. It's come straight out. See what I like? I like the cold. I love ice cream, the hangover.
Man, this is my thing. I need to have my insides frozen. Yeah. Like I'm like, if you could take the hairdryer, put it in the cold setting, ram the hairdryer up my dick, and blow cold air inside me, I'll be all right.
Happy man. Yeah.
But unless you can find a way to do that, I'm gonna have 14 tins of Coke.
Any of you guys science nerds, figure that out.
Anybody here that works in liquid nitrogen?
But I love that. Like, see him back in the days when
I had some Ben and Jerry's as well. Actually, think about it.
But see, back in the days when I had no kids and I was doing a hangover, I could have just lay.
Oh my god!
But I would have gone to like the Spar or something and got a bag of goodies.
Yeah,
and you would have had to put something in the freezer.
I've had hangovers where I've lay on the sofa in a dressing gown and pants with an ashtray on my chest, just smoking all day.
Yeah, it's like my Aunt Sheila.
Yeah, and I've lay there like I need a piss. I'll wait. And like,
you know what the most embarrassing thing I've ever done with a hangover is? Well, 2 things actually in the same house, but one was my Fitbit checks my steps. There was a day I did 14 steps of a day, and like I had pre-prepared, so I had like a bag of sweets or something, so probably just that like wine gums and 4 litres of water, and then just pissed, and there were steps just for me into the ensuite and back. And didn't move.
I think I've had a couple of days where my phone has picked up that I've been doing steps, but I've just been throwing the phone over to the sofa.
But that was bad. The other time was the time I ever just, I don't know, get so hungover, such anxiety about being hungover, you don't know what's going on. Sometimes you just need a wee cry.
Oh yeah.
So this particular day was in the house by myself, thought nothing of it, and just like, you either need a wank or cry. I don't know what it is, and did both. But I just was crying. I remember listening to James Blunt. That's because he makes you cry. And it was You're Beautiful, of course it was. And I was just playing that on my phone, up, earphones and all, but I'm in the house, I turned on, I was lying in the bed just crying. My housemate was there, and he just walked in and went, "What's going on?" I was like, "Nothing, mate, just something stuff." He goes, "You're hungover?" "Yeah, really bad." And he's, "Can I get you anything?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What are you getting?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to get Domino's here." I know. Yeah, and that was it. But I remember the moment of him looking at me going, What's happening here? Like, what? I don't think he's seen me in that level.
On the way back from Rory Woods' wedding,
Oh fuck, that was a wild one too. Jesus.
So I dropped McCann home, and as I was driving down the M1 to Lurgan, Whitney Houston came on, and I started crying, thinking about how she died in the bath, and I was like, I must be freezing.
Yeah. And you're like, fuck, I wish I was that cold right now.
I wish I was Whitney. Because somebody put Whitney Houston's dead corpse up my ass. See if it cools me down.
Speaking of Whitney Houston, there's a movie out about her at the minute.
I've heard that, yeah.
Catherine went to see it, and she goes to me.
It's not right, but it's okay.
Yeah. I didn't know for a second in my brain went, is he doing a catchphrase? No, that's her song. But she goes to me. It's such a wife thing. She goes, do you know Whitney Houston died in the bath? I went, yeah. She goes, you know her daughter died in the bath too? And she goes, that's because she loved her that much. She just wanted to be just like her. And I went, that's not how it works. It's not. She's probably just fucking cooked off again, passed out in the bath. It's not like a wee thing she did for her mum. I love
and
you,
my mummy died in the bath, and her mummy died in the bath.
But she was like almost offended when I was like, fuck shit are you talking over her. And then she another thing, she goes again, I don't know why she goes to cinema and turns into a granny. She goes, oh, Bobby Brown wasn't a nice article, was he? I was like, a nice article? No, he wasn't a nice article. He's a fucking piece of shit. But did he or did he not have a banger?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, some of his tunes were I'm not near said she got that vibe. That's R. Kelly, another R&B singer who's not very pleasant.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm just going to say it. I don't really understand what R. Kelly's done wrong. No,
pissing on 14-year-olds?
No, hold on. I know he pissed on people. I don't know the age.
Children.
But then other people are coming out to be like, yeah, he kept me prisoner in the house. And then they're like, but I could leave if I wanted. And then they're like, but did he then?
Aye.
You know.
I think it's pissing on kids in video. It was definitely the...
Yeah, have you seen his Ethiopia video?
No.
Oh my God. This is the right. I don't know how this is going to pick up on the podcast, but... This is if you've never seen this is the best thing. R. Kelly. Do you have your passport? You seen it?
Oh, no.
Right, okay. He's doing a show in Ethiopia, right? Just singing. And he's just trying to like recruit people, right? So recruiting Ethiopian girls. This is it in the concert.
Jesus Christ, man.
Weird, isn't it? But now what's good about it? Clearly a creepy guy, but great singer. It only goes for a wee minute so people can wait till he starts giving it licks like. Because if you're a fella that's there with your girlfriend, you're watching this going,
aye,
what's he doing? Other than singing. Why is his band still playing?
That's... Like, is Ethiopia not one of the starving nations of Africa?
Yeah.
So he's like, did you get your shots to go on? I had a fucking mail in 3 weeks. You asked me to go and get vaccinated?
Yeah. But I think what Rob was trying to do there was, he had vaccination crews with him. And they were like vaccine people trying to take them.
But the vaccine they give, you automatically fall asleep and wake up covered in piss.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, in the Cosby family home, you're like, what's a big deal they're working on there? But Rob,
yeah, he'll be back on tour soon.
I know
him and Cosby doing a double header.
But have you also seen him singing? She's got that vibe, or no, it's my bump and grind in prison.
No way.
So like he's there with other dudes, and they're like, "Do it, Kelly, do it," and he's like, "Okay, my mind's telling me that yes," and it's such a fucking weird
hell.
Thing. You know,
just dropping soap. My mind's telling me to pick it up.
Why is there not a reality show with just all the crims in one like we cell together? You get all the pervy.
Weirdly, I'd watch it.
Yeah, imagine.
That's a weird. I watched a thing the other night on Netflix about, is it the hitchhiker with a hatchet, or the hatchet carrying hitchhiker?
I've seen that, but I haven't watched it. I've seen the ad for it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether is it a hitchhiker that kills people or somebody that just defends.
So do you want? Do you want to
tell me? I'll probably not watch it.
So basically, it was like a viral hit where like it was somewhere in America. This proper stoner hitchhiker, and he got to live with this dude. The guy drove into a construction crew. Pinned the guy against the fucking cement mixer. Some girl thought it was an accident, came over to try and help him. The guy started screaming, he's fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
And tried to choke the girl.
Who the guy?
The guy who was
the driver.
Right,
okay.
So the hitchhiker had a hatchet with him, and he's like goes out and fucking beats the guy in the head with a hatchet to save the girl, right?
Yeah.
And they get this news interview with him, and he's like, so the guy, he's like choking this chick, man. And I'm like, smash.
Does he kill the guy?
Smash. No, he just fucking busts his head open, right? So then they're trying to get him a reality show of him, right?
Yeah.
He's fucking nuts, right? So they're trying to get all these different news companies are trying to find him. He was on Jimmy Kimmel at one point. He swore the whole way through it. So there's it's typical Netflix where it cuts between the footage and then like people who knew him and they were like, this guy was fucking nuts, blah blah blah. So then there was someone else where it was in a band with him, and he's telling the story about how he gave the driver of the car a joint. Yeah. But it was laced with all sorts of shit. Yeah. So the guy smoked this, whatever it was, and lost his mind.
So the hitchhiker gave the guy.
Yeah, gave the guy this fucking real spacey joint. And, and then beat the fuck out of him. And then he starts posting it, because he was basically just traveling around America getting shit for free because he was famous. And then he posted something up about like, what would you do if you found out that, or if you woke up in someone's house with cum dripping out of your mouth? And then people were like, I would kill them. And he's like, or they like, I'll kick the fuck out of that guy, whatever. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I would do the same thing. And then he got done for murdering a 73-year-old guy in his house. And he said the guy raped him. So he like just fucking freaked out. But when they looked at all the evidence, they're like, that
didn't happen.
That didn't happen at all. You've just full blown murdered a dude. Like, it's not that good. No. It's one of those Netflix ones where it's like, it's an hour and a bit long, and the last 7 minutes is, oh, he killed a guy in New York. Like, the entire thing should be about that. Yeah. See, like, that is weird. Like, Netflix will do that. Like, they'll have a series, like series 2 of Making a Murder. It's like just a one-off episode. Aye. You know, just fucking they'll stretch it out for 10 episodes. Like, and that's what I think now. I'm like, I get what they're doing, but also, cut the chase. Yeah. Get back. What do you do? How long did it take him?
Exactly. And then, because a lot of them aren't the best anymore. Like, I want something those.
Yeah.
Like, I liked. I suppose I haven't actually liked any documentary in a while. I've seen on Netflix. I think they've dropped the ball a bit with it. But speaking of that, before we go further, and I forget, in my job we had a tenant who, what was one of the most classic stories. He was like, "I'm Jesus," and when you went to start off, you're like, he doesn't really look like Jesus, but then over time he started to like get into the being Jesus thing, sandals and stuff, and like he was wearing the fucking gear and the beard and the hair and all. And I remember it being very funny because he could come in one day to fill out a form, and he was given the whole works. I'm Jesus and I live at this address and all. And I was like, that's not the address, but from the down, he lives in Arch, Jesus, right? So the form's all down, and it's actually one of my colleagues was doing it and blah blah. And then she was going through all the details about him. He was just talking about how he was, born of the heavens and blah blah. And then it was all fine and dandy until she goes, and your parents, and obviously she's gonna go fucking right. He was like fucking Cassandra Anderson and Jonathan Anderson, and she was like, but that's not. He goes, and then you saw his brain go, and in that moment he sort of went, am I Jesus? And then he's like, fuck, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just fucking, like, I'm Jesus, but they're just my folks. And it was a weird thing because in his head the story was, and everyone was jesting about it, and like the neighbours are complaining, being like, he's come to the door and all trying to fucking, just fucking cure people. It's like, nah. Like, I think that's what one of the problems was. Someone's complaining about him because they were terminally ill, or else he terminally ill too. Someone's dying anyway, but hopefully it's him because come back. But he was like trying to heal people, and they're like, no, but we're going to doctors and all. He's like, no, here, come here, let me. And they're like, no, Jesus, go in. And he's just trying to go in, just touching.
But it was exclusively people with breast cancer.
Yeah. It was like,
you're alright, pet.
Yeah, here. That's how we suck like those nappers.
Scream the gear for me.
Yeah. But like a lot of people do that, don't they? Fucking pervy priests and doctors.
There's pervy, there's bound to be
like they just hear what you need to do, like that. Fuck, there we go. And this is why
there's bound to be somebody who has genitalia so nice that either a gynecologist or someone that looks at dicks has seen it and gone.
Yeah, but do you ever think the way? Because whenever you're in school and all, and you're a wee stupid wee honey bastard, I fuck want to be a gynecologist when I'm older, and you think it's just going to be porn star fannies all day. But in real life, it's like wee grannies and all. But in a roundabout way, have you seen that documentary on Netflix with the doctor who was just impregnating everyone?
Yeah.
Now, that was a documentary and a half. Yeah. The name of the father.
Because was he doing the Cosby, and then other times he was just using his own sperm.
No, so what he was doing was just using his own sperm. Aye. So he was like, people are coming in and being like, they're going through picking like who they want the sperm off or whatever, what donor they can choose, and he was just always doing it. Which
he's like, I no problem.
Yeah, but like how he this what baffles me is how he could keep a steady hand after beating one out really quickly. Like they put it into like the wee syringe.
Probably use the other hand before.
But even you think fucking after nowadays I have one, I like need to sit down afterwards.
But was he not freezing it as well? Was he not beating it, or was he just?
No, he was just beating it and putting fresh loads in.
Jesus, still warm.
Yeah,
fresh out the oven.
But then that was the thing, because it was quite a small town he was working in, like, people were growing up, like, dating their sisters and brothers without even knowing.
Aye.
But then, technically, for whatever reason, the loophole in the laws, that's not a rape. So I think he only got done for, like, dodgy genetic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not actual, but clearly that's a rape. Like,
And that's how Cookstown was formed.
yeah, there you go. The classics. But yeah, it was just, that was good. But other than that, I think they're fucking slacking. Speaking of slacking,
seem like
we need to get on the boxing before we go. Because we're going to go, because I need to go and collect the kids from school.
I need to go pee too. So.
And you need the P2.
Yeah.
She's P1. Yes, so
that's why I never got her.
Yeah. Oh,
that sounded fucking sorry. That came out wrong. I meant as in a lift, and then as I said it, I went, that came out very, very pedo-y.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Tom Binns?
Yeah.
Google that one.
Oh, speaking of, I don't know who it was. Someone recently said, instead of, like, you never, like, forget what you're trying to say.
Aye.
Like,
they're now.
Yeah. But I can't remember if it was one of my mates or a cousin or a net or something said penis time. For going for I'm just waiting for some penis time here.
And going for a ham shank?
For a piss.
Oh, for a piss?
But then afterwards we're like, what's penis time? And he's like, oh man, I just meant for I don't know what I said, so I'm just penis time here. I think it's funny, but yeah. So anytime they go for it, I just go use
penis time.
Penis time.
Do.
Penises are so shit when you get older too, aren't they?
Oh man, mine started to do this weird thing when it's cold where it gets like pointy.
Like a dog?
Yeah, like all the meat goes up and the skin's still hanging out.
Oh, like
do you remember the raccoons?
Yes.
Do the bad guy?
Yes.
Cyril Sneer.
Oh my god.
That's what my willy looks like now.
Mine just looks, I don't know, mine looks like a mine looks like a Volivon that was left in Chernobyl.
Aye.
You know,
but I've had a couple of days where I've noticed, I'm like, my dick's getting heavier, but not bigger.
No.
It's just...
It's a weight to carry.
It's I don't know. It's just it's lazy or something. I don't know.
Because I find my balls are definitely getting more like malleable.
Yeah.
So like if I sit down, I have to like adjust, and then sometimes you stand up and crush them and all.
Aye, getting older shit, man.
Oh, it's not
I've also noticed my ditties are getting longer. And my nipples are getting lower down. Yeah. I'm getting old.
Do you feel like you can like? Because I try and lose a bit of weight and get in shape, and part of that I'm thinking of is like I need to get back into properly doing the weights. Like I like to do the weights, but I like to be, you know, you want to stand in the mirror and be like, yeah, come on, you fucking.
Aye.
But I feel like now if I got myself, I still wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think it's too late for me to ever get like ripped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I think I've noticed it even like because I'm fucking starting to get wee pecs.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the mirror, I can tense. Like I can see them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit here that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Ever.
Like it's those bits here. You're like, I'm not. And I think like if I ever do lose weight. I think I'll still have the skin, you know. I'll be
I'm definitely at the skin level.
I'll have to, you know,
my beer belly's the point of I'll have a wee flap.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's good to do, and you're healthier and all, but you just love the bit of being ripped. You know what I think? I wish if I could go back in time and say to my 16-year-old self, I'd be like, take steroids.
Yeah.
Do it now, bulk up. Get that fucking...
Aye. I think I'd go back to my man and be all, just make him go to PE. Mm-hmm. Just make him do it.
Yeah, definitely. Because see now, I don't look at vanity really anymore. I'm more like just I need to stay alive longer.
I've
which is a sad turn of events. You know.
I think there's a thing for me with that wee tiny RDA I have. There's times I've like been getting into it and going, I can't bend forward because of my stomach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm hitting my head off the roof because I can't fucking.
I know.
I'm so fat in the middle that I'm not flexible.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is.
See what we both have too, short arms.
Yeah, that's
so if you get any, so whenever I put a bit of weight on too, it's harder to wipe my hole.
Aye,
you know, it's like I need the flexibility. I need to be able to like reach around, touch my back.
Yeah,
you know, but
100%.
I like the, you know, but what I am good at, because of a long body and short legs, I can do a deep squat. So if I don't have to bend over that much, I'll just drop down and squat. Like see picking up dog shit and all, kids, whatever.
Yeah, I have no physical attributes at all, I've discovered. Like, do you know what I mean? Skipping isn't that impressive.
And is that from the boxing then? You've discovered your... So how's that been? So I'm not doing the boxing. You are. How's that process been? How did it all come about? Because I know it's been talked about for probably years now.
Yeah.
And then we thought that'll never happen.
So there was a bunch of comedians in England did it years ago for a wee guy with cancer.
Yeah.
And
how is he now?
Oh, survived, like, see the wee kid's life. And I always remember watching that. They were going to do a second one, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking like just the camaraderie of it. I was like, they were all fucking real tight mates after and stuff like that. So that'd be a bit of crack. And then I mentioned it. I'd said it to everybody for ages. Nobody would do it. And then I said it on Shane's podcast, and Shane was like, "I'll fucking do it."
Yeah.
So, and this was only maybe 6 weeks ago or something. It wasn't a long time ago. So yeah, we just got the ball rolling.
Because I'll be honest, I didn't want it to happen because I just wanted Shane not to be proven right.
What about?
And he's like, I'll do it. I'm like, nah, what the fuck?
Aye. Well, he's doing it, and it's like, so it's been fun. Like I started training before Christmas, with a guy Stevie Hawking from Lurgan, and I know everyone asks. His name's Stephen Hawking, but I've had to go Stevie Hawking, so nobody goes Stephen Hawking. I'm like, and the first day I booked, the first day of training, I was like, and I knew it wasn't fit. I just didn't realize it was that unfit. Like
6 rounds on the back.
Oos. Bob and weave.
Call those a punch Mickey.
Float like a butterfly, sit here like a rock.
But you know what I know you have done? I know you have done this. I know others probably haven't. You have done some sort of exercise and listened to Rocky in your earphones.
100%.
I know you have.
I do it all the time. Yeah. I've made a montage video with the Rocky music over the top of it.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm continuing to add to it.
But that's the one thing. Hearts on Fire as well. It's not
100%.
But you know what I like? I like to run. That's what I like.
See, I hate running.
And I hate it, but I like to be able to do it.
Yeah, I've been trying to, like, because my cardio was awful. Just because of smoking fags and drinking and being fat and eating shit and never exercising.
You know what? See, if you say
just from those things.
Yeah, a doctor would be like, oh, they're the things. They're the ones.
The one time I got bloods done one time and the doctor went, your liver's perfect. And I went, fuck off. And the doctor went, I know.
Yeah.
The training's hard as fuck because it's a completely different, like, because I would hit the heavy bag in the gym and then I went, like, the PT or the fucking boxing trainer and we were hitting pads. And I was like, why am I tireder now? And he went, well, because when you're hitting the bag in the gym, you're taking a wee break you're going oosh oosh and then dancing.
Yeah.
So there's been times where I've just been buckled. But it's been good crack. Like, we've done a wee bit of sparring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shane Todd punched me in the eye, punched him in the nose.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's the one thing. Uglify him. Make him as ugly as he. You know what? Shane is, and if you put him beside normal people, average looking dude, beside comedians, sexy.
Beautiful man.
Make him ruin it. Take his face from him.
Yeah.
Bring me his head. Yeah. But I think it'd be. You know what I find hard? That.
Yeah.
Like just holding those muscles. Like, see, if I was training, that would be the first thing I'd do. I would just take weights and hold them in my garage for a while.
I've discovered, because of my weight, short in my arms. So my trainer was showing me, like, if you're fucking, obviously you block punches like that, but if you're blocking your body, you just drop your elbows.
Yeah.
Right? Mine don't reach the side.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same reason, like, when I'm sitting on a plane, I can't reach the armrests.
Yeah.
Like, even with that, like, I can't get my elbows on it.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
So my body's wide open and quite a big target.
But I know it's hard to do that. It's hard
I'm going to walk out piss and blood with perfect teeth.
Yeah. See, that's it. Now you're fighting Mark McCartney.
Or Mark McCartney, R.I.P.
What's going on? What's going on in your head? Like, be honest. Is there confidence there? Do you think it's going to be?
I genuinely think when me and McCartney get into the ring, we're both going to laugh like two wee girls, and it's going to be 3 minutes of me and him, trying to punch each other, but neither one of us is aggressive enough to do it.
But see, I think he's one of those guys that has something in him. Like, has a, like, you know, the sort of thing that guys have who maybe, like, don't like a teacher or something in, like, Arkansas and then come back with a gun. I think he's got that kind of thing in him that you think you'll hit him and it'll annoy him and he'll be all, whereas I think you'll be more professional and more sort of, but I think he'll just lose the head.
I think McCartney will be a very calculated, like, he'll go, why did you do that, sir?
Yeah.
And then,
but do you think everyone will come out of it friends again? Or do you think they'll be like...
Yeah, I think absolutely. Because I know Rachel McPeak was saying that, like, she's fighting Claire Corrigan and Claire hasn't spoke to her since it's been announced. I like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of funny, like, fucking people slagging each other, and, like, there was a point where, because when we first agreed who was fighting who, I said to McCartney, I was like, I think it's me and you, and McCartney, I'll show you the viewers at home, Mark McCartney went like this to me. Like, just dead quick, like that. And I was like, he's fucking sizing me up. He's going to take it seriously.
He's like a fucking big snake.
He's
like, you'll do.
So, I think, like, Ronan Boyle and Paddy McDonnell, Ronan can fight like fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't think Paddy's afraid of getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good fight. That's what's the main event. Shane and Johnny is going to be very interesting.
You know what? I mean, I don't want to disrespect
Shane's
Johnny.
very competitive.
I don't want to disrespect Johnny, but I do think Shane's much bigger than he is. Would I be right in saying?
Yeah, I think so.
I do think Shane is a bigger... Like, now there's only one...
Shane's in good nick, like.
Yeah, but the only thing I would look at is I think Shane's a heavy... Like, I would say he's a weight or two heavier than Johnny.
But then...
And then, obviously, Sean and Pete Giffen.
Yeah.
But...
Because even like me and McCartney, like, I'm a good bit heavier than McCartney.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 16 stone at the minute. Like,
that's everything I thought.
do you know what I mean? That's super heavyweight in amateur boxing.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. I'd be sumo if I did it.
Super duper heavyweight.
Yeah. Too heavyweight. But I know.
But yeah, Pete Giffen and Sean is like. I trained with Sean a couple of days ago, and he's a fucking animal.
Yeah. See, I think Sean, out of everyone, I think would be the best at actual boxing.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I know Rowe has fought, so I think he'll have a bit about him.
It would make more sense if Paddy and Rowe fought, or sorry, Sean and Rowe fought, and Paddy and Pete.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's going to be
I'm coming down. What I don't understand, right, I said this before, Colin's been texting me to be like, we're going down, aren't we? I was like, yeah, and he's like, let's wear suits. He's like, he's just getting in this. And then he goes, I'll show you this. He sent me, and like, so I sent him a photo of, Big Punisher and Fat Joe in suits.
Right.
So I said, where is it? This will be us. And we turn up.
Absolutely do that.
Yeah, so I said do that, and then the next
do
thing
full fur coats, fucking.
But then there was nothing else mentioned, and then he hits me up with this. He goes, "Should we get these too?" I said, "I actually already have that," but so I don't know what he thinks we're going to be doing. But we've gone from, I suppose, before it was all announced, being what people would have assumed would have been one of the fights, to just being two big gay bear guys that are just turning up to have a good time, and I'm all for it.
If we do it again next year, you can fight each other, fuck it.
Yeah, but the teeth, if you can guarantee, because I'll not wear a gum shield because bad guy.
Man, I've got used to it. I've been walking around the house wearing a gum shield so I don't gag.
Mm-hmm. What a sight that is.
It's stinking.
Because when I played rugby, I never wore a gum shield.
Aye.
I remember scoring.
And it's weird because it's not like my gum shield. People keep going cut the back off it. It's the slabbers that's making me gag.
Yeah, no, I just think I bit the top of my tongue off scoring a try once because I ran like that, and I was like, and I came up and was like, it's a wee stinger, and it was just like, yeah,
Jesus Christ.
But I wouldn't wear a gum shield ever, and then then I got my tooth out here, at a crack in my tooth, and my dentist was like, what happened to your teeth? And I was like, I don't know. She goes, it looks like there's like a trauma type force that's cracked. I was like, oh, I play rugby, and she goes, you wear a gum shield? Nah. She was like, why?
Aye.
Because don't. And she's like, do you do any like weights or whatever? And I was like, yeah. And what do you like? And I was like, oh, I do. So I've been fucking running my head into things, going, I've cracked my teeth. So now that I'm at an age where I don't have to damage my teeth anymore, I don't want the.
Aye.
I would get so cross if I'm not my tooth out. See, especially like if you look at some of the fights on, like imagine you're like yourself and you're fighting like a really new comic, like an open mic or something. They knock your tooth out. You're not over that.
Mortified. Yeah,
you'd knock it over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ever. So I just don't want that. And then also Catherine's like, you're ugly enough, which is, I don't know.
A great thing to hear from a partner.
Yeah, it's like, you're ugly enough. You don't need to be uglier. So
my girlfriend bought me a hoodie. It was 2 sizes too small for me, and rather than go, oh, I'll take that back because you're clearly not a medium. She went, you might lose weight. And I was like, I don't know what kind of magic you think it's going to take for me to go from this to a medium.
But I've had clothes in the wardrobe since 2008.
Oh, I've been keeping stuff
slimming down.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still got a Fire Trap t-shirt.
Yeah, Von Dutch top. Fucking hell, but like I don't know. I've been trying to lose weight for so long, and I don't realise until I look back whenever I used to be fat. They went, I wasn't even that fat.
I'm the
sad.
same.
It's like, what?
Yeah, I do a thing where I lose a good bit of weight and then go, oh, losing weight's easy.
Yeah.
And then I give up.
Yeah.
And eat like fuck.
Yeah.
And then go, I really need to lose weight again.
No, because I have this theory. It's called the broken glass theory, and I believe that if health or fitness or whatever else, if you're a window and you're going to just throw a stone at it and it cracks, the glass is broken. You may as well just fucking dive through it head first.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So if I'm going to I'm going to have a drink or whatever, I may as well have 20 pints every day over entire Christmas, eat a cheesecake a day, you know what I mean? And then deal with it after.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm now. I'm just being new year, new me kind of guy. And I'm going to finish this and we'll collect the child from school and then go for a big walk with a dog, and then I'm going to go and do a bit of work.
Oh, I've got a PT session at fucking Thea as well. So
yeah, so we must dash. So listen, can we fire through some listeners' questions, because there are some, and then we'll bounce.
100%.
Because you know what? I always get listeners' questions, and then I just fucking ignore them. There you go. I've said it. I just fucking ignore them because I'm an ignorant bastard. Right. Let's go quickly. Dean says, if you could both time travel for a day, where are you going? What year? And what are you getting up to?
I think I'd go if it was could do it safely. Go right back to see what dinosaurs looked like and sounded like.
Yeah. Like in your current form.
Yeah. Like if there was a way of like you've got it, like the DeLorean, so you just go back to dinosaurs and you're just floating above the dinosaurs, just like that.
Would you like there to be an actual Jurassic Park?
Nah,
could do it
nah,
properly.
like, you couldn't fucking maintain the safety of that at all.
Look up season all the tigers.
I'm not sure, but them red pandas came from Belfast 2 years ago and they're up Black Mountain. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that happening with a T-Rex or a Velociraptor.
Yeah, true.
You're
Fucked.
oh man, doesn't worth thinking about.
No. Well, I mean, I'd like to see it. I think it would.
I mean,
I'd rather there be dinosaurs on an island than paedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein.
well,
I prefer to go and see.
to be honest with you, I would say that the you know, making love to children is quite an antiquated idea. So in many ways, they were dinosaurs.
True. That's deep. John Joe says, Mick, do you want to join the Revive Revolution to help you become fighting fit and spark McCartney out? But you said you got a PT, so you probably
Got a PT and a boxing trainer, but thanks very much, man.
have a PT. Now, Chris Reese, he's going to blow your mind because he always comes up with some weird shit. He says, what breaks and never falls, and what falls and never breaks? I don't know.
Wind?
Yeah, there you go. Because he asked me one question. It was like, if you did something, would you do a crime that's the worst, most abhorrent?
Yeah, asked us that. Yeah, just make sure it would never happen again.
And I went, no, because then I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, so you could end like murder or rape, but I'd be like, but then I would be either a murderer or a rapist. So no, I went, absolutely not. Fuck that.
Aye. He asked me the same question now, and I'd fuck a kid or something.
I do, but I mean, I'd fucking do it and then just keep it legal. You know, fuck it. James says, I know Mickey loves his Audi. What's both of your dream cars, and what's the best and worst car either you have owned, or what was wrong with it?
My dream car is like a Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of them dicks, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that doesn't really work properly.
Yeah, but looks good.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the worst car I ever had, a 98 Renault Clio that somebody crashed into the back of it, and the lining cracked up the inside of the car, so when it rained, the roof would leak.
I hate that.
So if you turned right, the water would come out of the fucking, the wee light.
Yes.
When you open the door, it would just pour out. And 9 times out of 10 you get you right at the deck, so you get out of the car looking like you piss yourself.
Every time.
Every
you
single
just
time.
say, listen, I identify as somebody that pisses himself.
Yeah.
So.
There was one time where there was moss growing the inside of it because there was water getting in and I didn't know where it was. I remember once my mate got on the back seat and the mat was floating.
Yeah.
There was that much water on the back seat, and then it dried because it was like a really heavy rain in the summertime, and then it fucking got really hot, and the car stank of just like
old rugby
just
boot or
pond.
something. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was rotten.
And my dream car is genuinely a smart car.
Yeah.
Just because I know that whenever the time comes that I can afford a smart car, I'll have disposable cash.
Yeah.
Because I have the two cars, and then I'll just have that. I like the idea of scooting to gigs and scooting into places with a smart car. I'm always running errands. So like,
do you remember there was a smart car that had just one seat in the front?
Yeah.
I always liked the idea of that.
The only thing
I feel like it'd be in a fighter pilot.
Yeah. The only thing about that is I would sort of feel like it's just basically a mobility scooter with a roof, though.
Yeah, but even at that, because one thing I've always know those wee like street sweepers.
Yes.
With the two wee blokes in the fucking.
Okay, look like good crack.
I would love a go on one of them.
Because have you ever ridden a golf cart before?
No, actually.
Oh, mate, we went to it was on a stag do, but I was at a golf course, and they're like, you can go and do that. And then I said, I don't want to play golf, I'll just drive. So I was just driving fellas on, and they had like 2 golf clubs, and I had a quick fucking thing of beer. Oh, it was amazing.
Class.
And I'd knocked the guy over, and I felt bad, but it was a lot of fun.
I'd also love a go on like one of those like road legal dune buggies.
Yeah. Oh, they look like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was one Christmas. We were the same age, so it must have been about there. And it was like a remote control car, but it had like these big fat wheels.
The 4x4 thing.
Yeah. Yes. Flip and roll.
Yeah.
I like to have a go on like a proper one.
Aye. We gimbal in the middle of it. Like, yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Curtis, we'll just end on this question because it's a closer. It's a good closer.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mickey going to move to Australia forever?
No.
No.
I would.
Would you consider it?
If it was sort of guaranteed, Mickey, there's a living to be made out here. You won't have to do any fucking free shit and work your way back up. I'd go in a heartbeat. But that's never going to happen. So okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I reckon you'd be all right. Not that I want you to go, like, you know what I mean? I think you'd.
I think yeah. If it was a case of right, you have all the money in the world. Where do you want to live? I would go Australia.
Yeah. And out of all places you've gone, is it your favourite?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What's so good about it? 'Cause I've never been. And again, I just don't know.
It just seems to be a very chilled out way of life, even though everyone's really busy and working really hard.
Do you reckon it's because they're all fucking convicts?
Aye. Yeah. Yeah,
Just happy
in fact, yeah.
to be out of the
I
fucking prison.
out of the jail.
Fuck that.
Mate.
Yeah.
You're all still making their beds first thing in the morning, though.
Yeah, I'd like to go. Just
Yeah.
to, I think now, in the past I didn't see the appeal, but see now, my Holly watches a thing called Izzy's Koala Hospital on Netflix, and I like the look of that.
Aye.
Just the weather and all.
Yeah, it's great.
But you know where I'm fantasising about in a minute? Lanzarote. I just really want to go to Lanzarote.
I've never been to Lanzarote, actually.
You know what? I've been to Tenerife.
Aye.
Tenerife is a young person's Lanzarote.
Gotcha.
So it's just full of resorts and old people. But old people are my vibe because they like good food and they don't put up with shit quality.
Aye.
So see if you go to a restaurant that's full of old people, you know you're getting the food.
Yeah.
You know, good. You'll always get good spots.
Good portions.
Good spots and good like fucking gravy and chicken.
Aye.
Fucking right.
Fuck, sorry, I need a piss so bad.
Yes. Listen, speaking of that, Mickey, anything you want to promote or do?
Oh, I'm doing the Waterfront Hall
There you go.
on the 13th of October, and I'm doing the Millennium Forum in Derry on the 7th of October. And if you're in Australia, I'm going to be out there in April, and I'm on tour in February and March in Northern Ireland. 26th of March, I'm doing the Frog and Bucket in Manchester.
There you go.
Apart from
And
that, nah.
follow him on his socials because the links are all
I
there.
follow me on my socials. and all
Cheers,
sorts of
Mick.
stuff. Cheers,
Take
Dave.
care.
See you later, mate.
Wait for a piss.
That hurt, did it?
Ah, a wee bit. Ah, yeah.
I'm the sly guy.